Every business owner has experienced it. A customer calls, asking for an update that nobody can answer. An employee spends 20 minutes searching for the latest version of a document. An invoice doesn't get sent because someone assumed someone else was handling it. A project misses its deadline because one small task slipped through the cracks. Most people see these as isolated problems. They call them bad days, simple mistakes, growing pains. But they're usually something much bigger. They're symptoms of operational chaos. And operational chaos doesn't just create frustration, it quietly destroys cash flow. When business owners think about cash flow problems, they often look in the wrong place. They assume they need more customers, more sales, more marketing, more revenue. Those things can certainly help, but if the business itself is disorganized, more revenue often pours into a system that's already leaking. Imagine trying to fill a bucket full of holes. You can keep adding more water, but until you repair the bucket, you'll never keep it full. That's exactly what operational chaos does to a business. It creates leaks that owners rarely notice until cash becomes tight. Operational chaos isn't always obvious. Your office doesn't have to look messy. Your employees don't have to appear overwhelmed. In fact, chaos often hides behind activity. Everyone is busy. Emails are flying. Meetings fill the calendar. Phones keep ringing. People are working hard. From the outside, the business looks productive. But being busy isn't the same as being effective. Many businesses confuse movement with progress. The real question isn't whether people are working. The real question is whether work is flowing smoothly. Think about what happens inside a healthy business. A customer submits a request. The team knows exactly who owns it. The work begins immediately. Responsibilities are clear. Updates are communicated. The project finishes on time. The invoice goes out promptly. The customer pays. Cash enters the business. Now imagine the opposite. Nobody knows who owns the project. Questions bounce between departments. Approvals take days instead of hours. Files are missing. People duplicate work. Tasks get forgotten. Deadlines slip. Invoices are delayed. Payment arrives weeks later than expected. The difference isn't sales. The difference is operations. Operational chaos slows everything. And when everything slows, cash slows too. One delayed decision may not seem important. One forgotten email doesn't feel like a financial problem. One late invoice feels harmless. But businesses don't lose cash flow through one large mistake. They lose it through hundreds of small delays happening every single week. A proposal sits in someone's inbox. A purchase order waits for approval. A technician doesn't receive the updated schedule. A customer has to call twice for the same answer. An invoice isn't sent until Friday instead of Monday. Each delay pushes the next step further away. Eventually, those delays become weeks. Weeks become cash shortages. Cash shortages become stress. Most owners respond by working harder. They stay later, answer more emails, attend more meetings, take on more responsibility. But working harder rarely fixes operational chaos. In many cases, it makes it worse. Why? Because the owner becomes the solution to every problem. Employees stop making decisions, managers wait for approval, customers insist on speaking directly with the owner. Everything begins flowing through one person, and once that happens, the business slows even further. Operational chaos isn't always caused by bad employees. More often, it's caused by unclear systems. People can't follow processes that don't exist. They can't meet expectations that haven't been defined. They can't make decisions if nobody has explained where their authority begins and ends. When expectations are unclear, people hesitate. They ask more questions. They wait for permission. That waiting creates bottlenecks. Bottlenecks create delays. Delays create cash flow problems. One of the biggest misconceptions in business is believing that cash flow begins in accounting. It doesn't. Cash flow begins in operations. Accounting simply records the outcome. Operations create it. Think about your customer journey. How quickly do inquiries receive responses? How long does it take to prepare proposals? How many approvals are required before work starts? How often are deadlines missed? How many invoices go out later than planned? Every one of those operational steps affects how quickly money enters your business. If the operational process is slow, your cash flow will eventually become slow as well. I've seen businesses with outstanding products struggle financially because they lacked operational discipline. I've also seen businesses with average products outperform competitors simply because their systems worked better. Consistency beats chaos every time. Another hidden cost of operational chaos is employee frustration. People want to succeed, they want to do good work, but when expectations constantly change, when priorities shift every day, when nobody knows which process to follow, people become disengaged. Good employees leave. New employees require training. Training takes time. Mistakes increase. Customers notice. Retention falls. Revenue becomes less predictable. Again, what started as an operational issue eventually becomes a financial issue. Operational chaos also damages customer confidence. Customers don't judge your business by how hard you're working. They judge it by their experience. Did someone return the call? Did the project finish on time? Did they receive accurate updates? Was the invoice correct? Did the business deliver what it promised? Customers remember consistency, and consistent businesses earn repeat business. Repeat business creates predictable cash flow. Predictable cash flow creates stronger businesses. Everything is connected. This is why systems matter so much. Systems remove uncertainty. They reduce mistakes. They create clarity. They allow ordinary people to produce consistent results. Without systems, every task becomes a new decision. Every employee creates their own method. Every project feels different. That inconsistency is expensive. The strongest companies don't rely on memory. They rely on documented processes. Clear ownership, defined workflows, regular communication, simple checklists, consistent accountability. These things may not sound exciting, they won't make headlines, but they create something every business owner wants: reliability. When work becomes reliable, customers become more confident, teams become more productive, projects finish faster, invoices go out sooner, cash arrives sooner. That's why operational excellence is really financial excellence. The businesses with the healthiest cash flow often aren't the businesses with the highest revenue. They're the businesses where work moves efficiently from beginning to end. If you're constantly putting out fires, if your team asks the same questions every week, if customers regularly chase updates, if invoices are frequently delayed, don't assume your biggest problem is revenue. Look at your operations, because operational chaos leaves clues. Repeated mistakes, missed deadlines, poor communication, confused employees, late billing, customer complaints. None of those are isolated problems. They're warning signs that your systems need attention. The good news is that operational chaos can be fixed. Start by identifying where work slows down? Where are approvals getting stuck? Where are people waiting for answers? Where do projects consistently lose momentum? Document the process. Clarify responsibilities. Remove unnecessary approvals. Create simple checklists. Review your workflows regularly. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. Small improvements made consistently create remarkable results over time. One less delay, one clearer process, one faster approval, one better system. Each improvement removes friction. Each improvement helps work move more smoothly. And smoother operations almost always lead to healthier cash flow. At the end of the day, cash flow is rarely just about money. It's a reflection of how well your business operates. When operations are organized, cash tends to follow. When operations are chaotic, financial pressure eventually appears. So the next time cash flow feels tight, don't immediately ask, "How do we sell more?" Ask a different question. Where is work getting stuck? Because every operational bottleneck you remove is another step toward a business that's not only more efficient, but also more profitable, more predictable, and far more valuable.